So today we're going to do a face drawing, and I'm going to have two videos of it. One's already up, and it's a sped up time lapse, so you can watch it in 1 minute flat, or you can watch the entire thing. But first I want to address something that's really important. I see a lot of my friends, they don't use more than one pencil. And to have a good portrait, you need to use different pencils. So I'm going to just give a quick run through here and show you what I use, so it'll make things easier for you. First tip though is, and this is something I just learned recently, I have always made up my faces. Get yourself a picture of somebody, and this particular girl I got from a free download on I'll put it in the description. I can't think of the name right now, but anyways, you can okay, copyright free images, and they're awesome. So this is the one that I have here, and here is the piece. Get a good picture. And the next thing you need is good paper. Get a smooth paper. It's really important. And this particular paper I have is a mixed media. And let's see if we can get the front page here. So it's mixed media vellum. It's called vellum surface, and for wet or dry media. It's great for, I love it for drawing on, because I mean this is a huge surface, and there's on this particular pad, this is Strathmore. How many pages did I get here? Oh God, I'm going blind. 40 pages. Ah, that's lots to draw with. And anyways, but the only thing is it buckles because the poundage is low. So keep that in mind. But I do like this, or you can buy drawing paper, which is this one. And this one is also Strathmore, and there's 50 sheets in this, and the weight is 70 pounds, and it's a medium surface, so it's got a little bit of texture, but not a lot. Not like drawing on watercolor paper. Drawing on watercolor paper is a disaster. Unless you're just doing something that's an outline, you know, you can get away with it. But for me, what I like to do is I draw my face, then I trace her, and then I move her over to whatever surface I want to do the final painting on. So let's get started with these pencils. So the first one I use a lot is, I have an H. And I used to buy technical pens, but changing the darn nibs drove me crazy. So I have reverted back to my roots, which is using a regular pencil. And this one is an H, and you can see here, there it is there, it's very light. And you can draw really fine lines with it, like so. So that is a good one to have in your arsenal. Then you've got a 2B, and I use my 2B a lot. It's you can see it's a much fatter tip, and you can sharpen it to a real point. Like I don't have a really good sharpener for some reason. I can't find one. Anyways, but they have ones where you can have like a ton of the lead exposed, or you can do it with a knife and really sharpen it and get that lead, because you want to be able to go in and go sideways like this. You don't want to always be drawing this way. You want to be drawing sideways or whatever works. But like for doing shading, this is great sideways. Okay, checking, see if things are recording. So you can see here, this is much darker than the H, and the one beside it is a 6H, so it's like really super light. And the thing I use for smudging is one of these. These are called a tortillon, and what it is tightly wrapped paper, and you take it and you smudge it. This makes all the difference in your drawings. So if you're doing a drawing and like an outline, you go in and you add some shadow like this, and it's like, boom, awesome. You can see where I put the shadows in certain places, and you can grab your tortilla, and I just got some color on there, and just rub it underneath, and you can get like a light shading just from that. So pencil is the way to go, I'm telling you. Okay, so next, my favorite is a 3B. And this is another one you could probably sharpen to a super sharp point. Mine's not that sharp right now, but I only have this little guy. My automatic ones have died. So you sharpen this puppy. Yeah, this doesn't even look that great. And you can also sharpen them using the sandpaper. If you buy a set of good pencils, and a good brand is Staedtler, or yeah, what's this one? Betal and Faber-Castell. I have a few sets from Faber-Castell, and they're great, but they come with a sandpaper, and that's how you can sharpen your pencil also. You want to have a good sharp point. It's really important. Okay, so here we have the 3B, and there it is there, and look how much darker that is. And you know, depending on how hard you press, you can press really light, or you can press hard. So there's that, and then you take the tortillon and look at your shading that you get. It's really, really awesome. Okay, my next one I really like is a 4B. Now this particular 4B is called a woodless pencil, so there's no wood around it, and you can sharpen it in a sharpener, or you can use the sandpaper, and you can get a really good point on these. But it is woodless. It doesn't get your fingers dirty holding this part, and these are great. I love them. I have this one, 4B, and I have a 6B. So let's look here, and look how dark you can get this one. It's just amazing. And so let's smudge it. See how this one comes out. There we go. So you can get different effects from each one. It just depends on how dark you want your smudge. And so if you're doing your, so what I would have done is drawn her face, and then I would have put in the darker areas. You see that? And then smudge them. You'll see if you watch the video. Okay, so next is my mechanical pencil. I have this one here. What is it? Oh, this is the 07. So this is a 0.03, and I'm not too sure like what the HB is on this, because it's a different type of deal, but it's like super fine. And here's, you can see the line here. So I would say it's like a 6H. Let's look at my 6H right here. This is a 6H pencil. Maybe not a 6H, maybe a 3H then. The 6H is super fine. But yeah, these are great too, and you can also shade with them. I use them mostly for doing fine tuning. So if you're doing around the eyes and things like that, you want to do some fine tuning. Okay, so that one is the 0.03. Then I have a 0.07. Get this thing, and you click them down, push this down, and it comes out. And then see how much darker that is? But these have their place too. It draws a nice line. You get some good lines. And I saw somebody one time. It's a guy on YouTube. I forget who it was, but it was so funny. He goes, and this pencil draws a really good circle. Okay. So anyways, it draws a good circle. Excellent. And okay, so the next two, oh, here. my wash brushes. I've had these since I had my art supply store 35 years ago, and I never used them until now. And so here we have it here. And you can just put down, this one is a dark wash, oh no, it's a medium wash. So you just go like this, and then you can grab some water. I don't have a brush. All right, and check this out. It's so much fun. Look at that. So if you can get yourself a watercolor pencil, not a colored pencil, these are actual pencils, you can get some great effects using these, and you can do a lot of your shading with these also. Okay, so that's pencils. Now, next thing is erasers. Oh my gosh, you know, I was raised to believe that you weren't allowed to erase. You had to draw whatever and it had to be perfect. No. I mean, I would be terrible without an eraser. So, my favorite, this is called a Mono Zero Elastoma eraser. It's by Tombow. And it's this tiny eraser. You see that? It's like really tiny, and it's perfect for those hard to reach places, for doing lines in the hair. You know, you can just take out a whole swath just like this. You can just make little lines, and this saves my butt all the time. Okay, the other thing is these moldable erasers. These are great also, very important. This is my favorite because a lot of times when I get done doing a portrait, it's too dark. I've got too much shading on there, and if I decide I'm going to start painting that particular piece, like today I went over this. This was a lot darker. You take your molded eraser, roll it up, and then just roll it across your piece. Okay, so I had technical difficulties, a complete meltdown. Anyway, what I wanted to show you was these moldable erasers, and here's how they work. You just roll it up, and then you just run it over your piece, and it takes off, and you press harder where you want more taken off, and just kind of roll it around, and it really works good. So here, let's roll it on one of these here. Oh, look at this here. We just did that little bit of scrolling and eraser work, so let's run this over it, and look how it just basically erased it, but it is sort of there. It's sort of invisible. But look at this. Look how much it just takes it off. It's amazing. These are a mainstay. You can't live without these. They're awesome. Now, if you're traditional, you can also use the good old pink erasers. Not everybody likes these, but they work pretty good. And one of my favorites is a white eraser. I have a white eraser. So different erasers for different people, you know, whatever works. Okay, so we're ready to get going. So stay tuned and watch the video, and I hope you enjoy it, and see you at the end. So here we have our portrait on the left. I'm picking out my pencil, which is a H. It's a Betzall turquoise pencil. And let's start with a circle. I know you can barely see it, but we'll get there. So just go slow, and sometimes you can just go around and round a whole bunch. Now I'm doing the bottom part, so it makes it look more like an oval. I usually start off my drawings with a large oval, And it's about the same size as the face on the picture. I printed that out on a 8x10 sheet of photographic paper. And then draw a line directly down the center. And then figure out the halfway mark. Yeah, it was a little high there, so you can use a ruler if you want. So I'm just shortening the face up a little bit there. That's why it's good to have a eraser hanging around. Mistakes can be erased. It would be great if we could do that with the mistakes we make in our lives. Just erase them. Gone. I like that idea. Okay, so I'm figuring out half to the top. So the top of the circle is the top of the head. And the line across the center is where you'll put the eyes. So figure out another halfway between the bottom and the middle. And that's where the nose will be. And then halfway between that last line and the base of the chin. And they work as really great guides. I have been using this technique for the last 5 years, and it works quite well for me. Yeah, keep those erasers handy. Now I am using the mixed media paper. It's a vellum surface. It's very smooth. I like it for drawing. And so on the next video, follow up to this one, I will color her. And this particular painting, I'm going to do it all in very light colors. So that'll be next week. So I'm just figuring out where the eyes are going to go. Be careful not to make your eyes too big, unless you want them that way. I just grabbed a skewer, which will help me measure my distances. And so you can just kind of take a look. You want to have your eyes, one eye apart in the center. That's how you figure out your sizing. And the size between the outside eye and the side of the head is the width of half an eye. I'm starting to do the inside shape of the eye. Remember, you just start playing with it and keep at it. Don't worry about one eye being bigger than the other. None of us have perfectly exact eyes. So now I'm going to use my Tombow tiny eraser. Look how well it works. It's just great. This is the easiest tool, or should I say the best tool to use for fine tuning. So I'm going to just draw like a circle for her nose, and it's right on that bottom, well, that midline, middle. And just look at the picture that you have and go back and forth. I know it looks really weird right now, but you know, this is part of the ugly stage. It gets better. So I'm just lining it up here so the edge of your nose lines up with your inner eye. So I'm just marking how wide her nose should be. Cleaning it up with the eraser. So line up the center of your mouth, and some people just draw a big oval, or you could draw a heart. So the mouth opening is right on that bottom line, as you can see here. And the width of the mouth is to the iris. So that will kind of give you a guideline. And I futz around with mouths a whole bunch. If this is your first time looking at or attempting to do one of these, it takes practice. And I will do a video. I have one up that I put up about a year and a half ago, and I show my early works, and believe me, they're awful. But you know what? We all have to go through it. So hang in there. Practice makes perfect. Now I'm cleaning up her nose a little bit. Oops. Fine-tuning the nostrils. I switch to the 2B. The black one is the 2B. Notice I'm just doing it kind of sideways, and I'm shading very lightly. And your upper lip is darker than your lower lip. So we've shaped the mouth in an oval. Now I'm going to take off some of the messy lines. I'm using the H pencil, so I just want to do some light lines. Using the trusty eraser again, the tiny one. Okay, this part was recorded on time lapse, so it's a bit faster. This is the slowest I can make it. So I hope you can get something out of this. And I'd love to hear from you all. If you like my drawing and want to suggest a name for her, send me a name. I'd love to get some suggestions. So here she's slowly coming together, and I'm using the tortillon to sort of create some shadows. So look at your reference photo every once in a while and see where the shadows are. Okay, we're almost to the end. I've done some shading and used my tortillon to kind of smudge it around, make it look more realistic. And getting her ready for the paint job, which will be next week. So come back and check it out. I hope you've enjoyed this sketch, and thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it if you've made it this far. If you're enjoying the content and want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. And I'll have a list of all the materials I've used and a reference photo in the description if you're interested in doing the same girl. Anyways, bye for now.